Welcome to Ma's Garage.
I'm Kev.
I'm Crick.
And I'm Smokey.
And on today's episode, we're going to talk about me and my...
Wait. I thought I got to start this one.
No.
Like,
no, it's my turn. We went over this.
I feel like you just went. Like, it's my turn to do it.
No, I've written down, like, I've got a whole script written down for this. I've been practicing in the mirror all week.
But I mean, I feel like I do it a little bit like deeper,
Crick.
More,
if you do it, we're going to be here like 3 or 7 different takes. Like I should be the one that's going to do it because then we'll get it done in like 1 or 2.
At least it turns out right. At least it's like what I wanted to be. So it's like, yeah, it takes a couple extra takes, but it is.
It's me and my ego. It's me
and my ego.
My ego.
Me and my ego.
And my ego.
No, me and my ego.
Me and my ego. Where do you feel like ego then turns into narcissism?
When you take it too far and you have zero regard for other people's well-being. I feel like that's the difference between narcissism and empathy.
Yeah, I think narcissists don't have regrets. They don't regret anything they do.
Right. And think about like a person that puts all of their blood, sweat, and tears, makes as much money as they can possible so that they can pay rent and then donates all the rest of their money to charitable organizations. They do that because they always want to feel like they are contributing and helping in other ways. Yeah, that's awesome. That's great that person is putting 60, 70 hours a week and giving all of this money to these charitable organizations. But that person's a shell of themselves. Right. Like, how about we talk to this person? What do you do? Like, you do this for that organization. You do this for your work. But like, who are you?
To whom am I speaking?
Like, what are your interests? What are your values aside from helping people?
That's where I feel like we've become that with donating. We've become that as a society for contributing, because it's like, well, we'll just throw some extra money at the problem.
That and the government incentivizes you because it's a tax write-off in cases. Right.
But so many people, like, they need hands in the field. You can throw as much money in as you want, but if you're only paying one guy $20 an hour because nobody else wants to do it, you know what I mean? Like, and that fuel that it burns in yourself, like, cause if you throw that $5, I donated. That feels cool for a minute. But if you spent your day helping build a house, or if you spent, your time and your energy doing it in a more personal way, you'll find out how you enjoy giving back to the world. Is it cooking for people? Is it building something? Is it doing something like that? Or is it just throwing money at it, which is a little bit more just, neutral. It's a little bit more. Yeah, like, it's not as personable. It's not as
It could be seen by outside forces as a band-aid, but to the inside force, that's what you truly believe in, and that's why you do it.
Yeah, or some people might do it because for selfish reasons, because maybe they've done something wrong in the past, so they feel like they have to atone by giving or donating back or doing these other things. So they're
could be
trying to settle something with themselves. And just be like, oh, well, I'll make myself, I'm not a bad person because I give money to this. I'm not a bad person because I do these things. So that balances out the negative things that I do because I do this good thing.
So that's not the ego.
Maybe that person's just trying to flex on the hot girl that's taking the donations. Like, he's trying to flex his money.
Right. We've all got our reasons.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's that. What is that? What's the control valve on the ego? Because what
humbleness,
the ego is what we can use, or it's what we can use to justify it to the ego that why we're doing it.
Yeah.
So we can give ourselves any reason why we're doing what we're doing, right? Like, it's good because X.
I feel like humbleness is that, because humbleness is when you try something outside your realm and fail and are shot down. That's a shot at your ego. You know what I mean? Or when someone humbles you or puts you in that place that kind of brings you back to reality and your actual limitations.
Now you know how it feels to be just like everybody else. Isn't it just peachy?
That's what keeps your ego in check sometimes. But
this whole season's been a balancing
to
act.
me, I feel like humbleness is a little bit more than that, though. Like when you're a humble person, like you truly just appreciate what other people do. Aside from what you do, you appreciate that you could not have achieved what you have achieved without the help of other people. That is not just you alone.
Right. And you don't do it to gain attention. You just do it for self-satisfaction, I guess.
Well, and for the grander good. Like that's where I feel like that's the opposite coin, or opposite side of the coin for ego is it's the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. It's I'll put myself at sacrifice if I know the world will be a better place by the time that I'm gone. It's like, that's where I feel like when you can shed some of your ego or like not focus so much on your ego, you can understand that like we're all this, the world is a big living organism. It's just like a big human body that's all trying to work together with all these different inner workings. And if this one little cell over here is like, it's all about me, you know what I mean? Like things aren't going to go right. But if they were all working together to make it a more cohesive unit, that's where I feel like that shedding of ego could benefit us.
Is it shedding it or learning how to use it to help that greater good?
Yeah, I don't know if shedding is necessarily the right phrase.
I feel like shedding works because shedding, you're removing layers of it. You're not getting rid of it. You're not deleting it.
Excess.
Yeah, you're making it, you're revealing it for what it really is. Like you're showing yourself what your true ego is. So you're shedding away the layers.
Because that's what snakes do, right? They shed skin and come out
but that's a dead
better
skin
version of
that
themselves.
they shed.
Right. So you could have, it's a false ego. If you have things that are building you up that aren't true, you're shedding those away. You're taking away this false image that you have of yourself so you can see the true image of yourself that's underneath. So you're shedding off layers. We're like onions. It was a terrible Shrek.
Maybe peel.
Peel and shed are like the same difference.
If you peel, I guess
we're splitting hairs at that point.
Right.
Peel is done one. Shed, you shed often throughout your life.
I guess.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
The
too.
ego is constantly evolving.
And you shed
our image
growing.
of ourselves.
I guess I was trying to think of something that's not necessarily like shedding, like removing, but it's just something that you're like temporarily exposing and then temporarily covering.
But I feel like the point of it is shedding why it works is because you're growing. So you're not going to fit into that old suit that you took off because you can't put it back on because your ego has
now.
Right. Because you've shed it. You've morphed beyond that old casing.
Ah, the fresh air feels good.
Stop doing that.
Your ego is constantly changing as you're changing, as you're gaining new skills and learning
you keep
new
the
limitations.
things you liked from that. And
interesting.
Yeah.
So if you refer it in that respect, then I guess you can understand it a little bit more, that you have like your lifestyles, your personality styles, like no one just keeps the same skin their entire life. Like we're all constantly learning and we're all constantly evolving.
Right.
Interests are changing. We're learning new things.
Oh, and you have to keep your ego at that pace too, as it's changing, because if you're not letting your ego change as you're changing, that could probably be dangerous as well too.
Yeah. You miss out on a lot of things. It's like wearing
your
blinders.
ego is pulling you. Like your ego is trying to go 200 miles an hour, but you just want to go 30.
Or vice versa. You want to go like 100 and your ego's dragging behind you because you just have a slow self-image. So you have to pull that thing along. Like
it's a muscle. You train it and you'll get better at using it. Right.
I think that's why it's so important for us to have like creative energy and an outlet to express creative energy, because that is something that you have control over, your energy that you can put into whatever you're doing.
Right. that's just to create, like just doing it to create, like as a pure selfish act to like get something out, just like almost like taking a crap. Like you need to create to take a mental crap and to just unload all that stuff and like
It's the
get
same
it
as
out of
writing
your
down,
head.
right?
Yeah,
It's a hot commodity. The poop art market.
right, exactly. Scat art.
Yes, that's what it's called. Scat art. I knew there was a word for it. I just could not think of what that word was.
The next thing, flooding the nation. Literally.
Literally.
So a narcissist is somebody whose ego has gotten out of control and they've used it to manipulate a bunch of people. So they've always got a scapegoat. So in their mind, they really can never do wrong.
That's where I think like a narcissist, the more I've done research into narcissists, because like I can't help it. Like they've just so prevalent in my life. But it's like they can't really not be a narcissist. Like that's how they've been taught to interact with the world. Like that's how they'll kind of always be. And that's why you can't really win over an narcissist or change them from being a narcissist. Their driving force is still always going to be them. So it's like almost like they've fully given in to the ego.
The only way is for them to go through like an event that causes them to have vulnerability.
Yeah. Where
and accept to be a vulnerable.
They can't push the onus off onto somebody else. It's obvious that it was them. And then the house of cards comes down and they can start to rebuild, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen narcissists get trapped in a corner where there's no way out.
Don't come near me, seriously. When I'm backed into a corner, I'm like a wild animal. I don't want to hurt you, but I will out of instinct.
You haven't won a fight since grade 5, and that was against a girl.
And it don't matter. Like it's wild how when everything points at them and it's obvious that's them, it's just still this blatant denial that they're perfect and it's somebody else's fault.
Yeah, she was huge. She'd been held back.
And the sun was in your eyes. Oh, the ego.
And it's like, it's your fingerprint. It's your hand. You're still holding the knife. Like, you know, like there's no getting out of this one. And it's just,
that's where it's
like it's programmed. It's like watching an animal get caught in a trap.
Right.
Because you see this look of just like panic and this any attempt that they can and any avenue that they can take, no matter how dark it is, to get out of that trap. You know what I mean? And like, it's kind of sad and scary at the same time.
Any little straw that might push the onus on someone else. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel bad for narcissists. And it's like, I love narcissists. They've been a prevalent part of my life. And I care about some people a lot who are narcissists. And the thing is, it's just like, I wish I could learn to better live with them. And I wish they could learn to be better versions of themselves at the same time. Because it's hard.
You just let them be them, and then you do you.
Yeah, that's what it is. But
I get you're not really helping them by doing that, but nothing else you do is helping them.
On another level, there's different versions of a narcissist too, and there's some who force their opinions on you. No matter how much you tell them to leave you alone with this crap, they want to force it on you. Mm-hmm.
Tell you how to live your life, tell you what you're doing wrong. Mm-hmm. And that's where it's like, you don't want to be around them, because it's like, no matter what, like people telling you their vision of you is going to change your reflection of yourself.
Yeah.
Like if everybody calls you a whore, on the mirror, you're going to feel like a whore. Yeah. And it's like, if everybody's telling you something, you're going to believe it, even to the slightest bit. So if you surround yourself with like someone who's constantly telling you that you're worthless, or that you do everything wrong, or that you make mistakes all the time, part of you is
or only point out the mistakes you make.
Right.
And every time.
We already do that enough ourselves. We already talked about that, how we're so good at already pointing out our mistakes. If you have somebody else who's only doing the same and just putting you further down that spiral of all I do is screw up,
it's almost like reaffirming your negative self-talk.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I am worthless. Oh yeah, I am bad.
I knew it.
I knew it. I might as well not do anything because they agree that I can't do anything if I tried. It's a dangerous spiral that I feel like a lot of the greatest like compassionate minds get stuck in it too, because you're trying to do things for other people. You're trying to listen to other people, be empathetic, and not
getting taken advantage of.
And that's where I feel like narcissists and non-narcissists is like predator and prey, you know?
Yeah.
Not narcissists.
What is that? What's it called?
Empaths. That's like the closest I can think of someone who's an empath, who's like super empathetic of other people's feelings.
Yeah. That's why I had like that. And that's why I said like, there's a difference between like empathy and narcissism.
Yeah.
Like those are the two extremes.
Right. And I feel like that's the opposite side of ego is empathy. Is it's like, and that's where I feel like, I feel like that's where that shedding of the ego is, when you can see that stranger across the street is you for another flip of a coin. Like that's your genetic brother. Like you may not share any family or whatever, but you're made of the same stuff. You're made of the same design. You're made of, like, you go back far enough, we all have like a similar mother. Like
the only difference is the things that happen throughout their life.
And you deciding that you're something different. You deciding that you're special because you're in here. So therefore this thing that you're in is more special than everybody else.
That's all built up from the ones and zeros that you've experienced though. Right.
And it's great that like the help that you provide, like you like the help that you're providing, but like, what if this person you just like walked into like whatever they were doing and they're just like, thanks, but like, I didn't ask for it.
And that's where it's communication. If I'm trying to help somebody and they say, oh, I'm good, I don't need help. I'm like, are you sure? Yeah, cool, man. No problem. It's like, because I'm someone too, I will tell you I don't need help, even though I really need help.
That's probably usually when you need help, right?
Yeah. I'll be struggling with a big TV.
That's my default.
No, I'm good. I got this. Like, it's fine. Like, no, come help me because I'm being dumb. And I don't know why I'm being so like ego driven that, oh, I got this. I'm strong. I'm a big man. Like, let's get over it. I'm going to hurt my back. I'm going to be down for 3 days. Like,
but you did it by yourself.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you accomplished what you wanted to accomplish.
But I didn't have
that's
to.
what it comes to.
But I
as we get older,
to.
Is the trade-off worth it? We're noticing that more and more with the choices that we make.
I would
the direct correlation to choices we make.